Hello, hope you're having a great day. Now, unfortunately, last night I was hit with another bout of my insomnia. I was really struggling to go to sleep. I think I sort of nodded off for about 20 minutes around midnight, but then after that I was struggling to sleep until about 2:30 a.m. I can definitely remember seeing the clock at 2:30 a.m. So yeah, I think I got to sleep somewhere between 2:30 and 3 a.m. Just laying there. As I've said before, not thinking about anything negative in particular, but just having a very active mind and, sort of living out my potential future days. I'll sit there sort of imagining what I'm going to be doing next on my cars, for instance, what I'm going to be doing today, for instance. And yeah, just laying there with an active mind, really struggling to sleep. I listened to, I think, 2 sort of hour and a half long podcasts last night where Andrew Huberman was on with other people. And then during one of those podcasts, he was talking about yoga, nidra, I think it is, meditation, or yoga nidra, something. I think you'd call it like a type of meditation where and he said that he uses it sometimes if he's struggling to sleep, and he also says he uses it sometimes if he wakes up in the morning and he hasn't had enough sleep and he doesn't feel rested. He doesn't have the luxury of just being able to stay in bed when he's in them situations. So sometimes he'll just bang out a 10-minute one of these yoga nidra things in the morning, and he feels that it sort of replenishes him and makes him feel rested, kind of gives him the benefits or some of the benefits that he may have missed out by having a disturbed night's sleep, for instance. So yeah, I ended up banging on one of those and yeah, I fell asleep during that. Now, whether it was that got me to sleep or whether it was just that it was so late at that point that I ended up going to sleep, but at the end of the day, I did go to sleep and, probably got a good 4 hours or 4.5, maybe 5 hours of sleep in total, and woke up at 7:30 as usual. And this morning, I'm still feeling a little bit ill, like nothing like I have the last few days. You can hear in my voice that I'm still bunged up, but, still feeling a little bit weak and, sitting on the foot end of my bed, just battling with myself, really determined to stay up because, I haven't been doing good enough whilst I was ill. And yeah, my lazy mind was focused on the fact that I was feeling weak. But if I'm honest with myself, yesterday when I woke up and I was feeling weak, I could have stayed up, if I tried harder. And I kind of kept that in my mind this morning to help me actually stay up and overcome my desire to just go back to bed and give up. Now, in terms of the insomnia, it's something that I sort of battle with every now and again. It hasn't really been a problem for quite a while up until the last few days, partly because the noisy neighbour that used to live upstairs doesn't live there anymore. But I think in life, you can only alter or change things that you take responsibility for yourself, right? So I always look for, reasons why I can take responsibility for everything in life. Like, you've got 2 options, right? You can either just say whatever's happening to you isn't your responsibility at all, and then that gives you an excuse to not bother making changes, or you can look for reasons why something that's happened to you is your responsibility, at least in part, and then that gives you something to work on to improve whatever situation it is, right? Now, part of the reason I think that I've had a bit of insomnia the last couple of nights is because my pattern has been disturbed, over the last week or so because I've been ill, right? On Tuesday, I spent all day in bed. So I would have had too much sleep, you could say. Now, I was ill and, at the time I felt like I needed to stay in bed. But, messing with your pattern like that, can potentially cause insomnia. Another thing, I haven't been religiously going on my walk around the block every morning that I like to do. And going for that walk around the block is key to get your body to set certain clocks in motion, right? If you get sunlight in your eyes, like literally first thing, that sets a clock in your body, which then means that your body knows when to start sort of making you get ready for sleep later on in the day. So if I'm missing that exposure to sunlight first thing in the morning, then of course it's going to affect my sleeping. And in general, over the last few days, there's been days where I haven't been able to win the battle with my lazy mind and stay up past 7:30. So obviously, again, I'm sleeping in later, which is going to then make it harder for me to go to sleep at night. Now, I could sit there and say, well, I'm ill, nothing I can do. My sleep pattern got disrupted, which may be the reason why I'm getting insomnia, but I was ill. And that's it. You just put it to bed, and there's nothing for you to work on. You can't change something that isn't your responsibility. But another way I could look at it is to say, all right, so yeah, I have been ill, but would it have been absolutely impossible for me to not spend all day in bed on Tuesday? No. If I was stronger, I could have got out of bed. All these mornings where I've woken up ill and I haven't managed to stay up at 7:30, would it have been impossible for me to win that battle with my mind and stay up even though I was ill? Well, no, it wouldn't have been impossible. If I was a bit stronger, it is definitely possible that I could have still stayed up. I would have gone through the day feeling a bit ill. It wouldn't have been ideal. But, if I'd have acknowledged in them mornings that, yeah, I do need to still get up, I still need to get that sunlight in my eyes, then maybe I wouldn't have been in the situation last night and the night before where I've had insomnia. And maybe me acknowledging that now, is going to mean that in future, when I'm feeling ill, that might give me that little bit more strength to, remind myself that, yes, I'm feeling ill, but I need to stay up, because otherwise I'm going to make things worse by, for instance, giving myself this bouts of insomnia. Because, in fact, this morning, when I was having that battle with my mind, which thankfully I won, that was something that was going through my mind. Because whilst I was laying in bed last night having insomnia and, overthinking and not being able to sleep, I was sort of acknowledging the fact then that I was going to be determined to stay up this morning. And I was acknowledging the fact last night when I was struggling to sleep that yesterday morning I could have stayed up, if I was a bit stronger, So, I'm just trying to take responsibility for my insomnia, in part because that's the only way that potentially I'm going to prevent me being in that boat again in the future. And, the fact that I have got up this morning and stayed up, all right, it took me 20 minutes or so to get myself off the foot end of my bed. But after that, I did go, start going through my morning routine, having loads of water and salt water and vitamin C and brushing my teeth and getting all my layers on, ready for my walk around the block. And yeah, I've gone out and I've got that sunlight in my eyes. So hopefully this evening, I'm now less prone to be trapped in this loop of, not being able to sleep. But we'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But yeah, once I got back from my walk, I have written in my journal, I've had a 10-minute meditation, both of which seem to go really well. And yeah, now I want to dive straight into banging out a workout. I'm really sort of, accepting and acknowledging the fact that, recently, even before I was ill, I really have been slacking, with this morning routine. I'm allowing myself to start scrolling on my phone between the different stages of my morning routine. And this morning, I've just been keeping that in mind, because a lot of the time, these things we do, like scrolling on your phone, they're automatic, because we're, the phone's kind of an extension of us now, isn't it? So, without even thinking about it, I just end up picking up the phone and scrolling, and it's like you're in a trance, and then I sort of snap out of it. It's like, oh my God, I'm scrolling on my phone. So this morning, I've actually been trying to, acknowledge and accept and keep in my mind that I have been slacking recently, and, that's helped me not slack as much this morning, even though I didn't really get going until 10 to 8 this morning. Didn't get out on my walk until gone 8. It's now, I'm actually going to look at my phone, 1 minute past 9, and I'm ready to bang out my workout. And I have just spent nearly 11 minutes making an intro to this video as well. So, if I just keep acknowledging the facts that a lot of the time when I do put this camera down, I do end up automatically picking up my phone, that's going to help me not do that. If I acknowledge the fact that, yeah, recently I have been a bit slow to get through my workout, because I don't want to do a workout every day. There's a lot of resistance to me doing all of this stuff, because I've spent so many years doing completely the opposite, just, being a waste man, taking the easy way out. So yeah, I'm just trying to sort of remind myself of how easy it is for me to slack. And yeah, it seems to be benefiting me so far, and yeah, I want to keep that going with my workout. Now, in terms of my workout, I'm just going to do push-ups and sit-ups, and I'm going to do these things with the dumbbells. But another thing I've kind of been slacking with my workouts really is, when I do sit-ups, I do think that at least 50% of the time, or maybe even more than that, I should be doing the decline sit-ups with a weight on my chest to sort of, aim it at the lower abdominal area, I think. And yeah, it's another thing where it's just like, when it comes to doing it, it's like I can't be bothered to get the bench out and set it to decline. So yeah, this morning I'm actually going to do the decline weighted sit-ups, bang out push-ups as usual, and as I say, do these things. But yeah, realistically, if I keep the intensity up, I can bang this workout out in 5-6 minutes. It's not a big deal. Anyone can put aside 5 minutes in their morning to do a workout. But yeah, let's get this done, and then I can jump in my cold shower, which will really set me up for the day. So we've just got back home after being out all day. We went to see a subscriber to my other channel to check out some cars that he's got and make a video, but also to pick up some parts that he's given me for my latest project. So yeah, it was a long drive there. Spent a couple of hours there with the guy, which was cool. And then it was a long drive to my other garage to drop those parts off. And then we drove home via Tesco's, picked up a little bit of shopping. Going to be actually having steak again tonight for the second night running. But yeah, it's been a really busy day. Cat's, really ill. I'm feeling really tired because I am still really ill. But yeah, I've just been sort of watching my mind look for excuses to sort of cop out of what I know I need to do today, right? Just a silly example, on the way down to see this guy, I could see my mind just fantasizing about scenarios where I didn't need to film a full video at this guy's place. I was just sort of thinking about, just grabbing a couple of clips and then maybe putting those into another video, when the plan was to go there and make a full video, show the cars that he's got, etc., etc. So it's just an example of, where my mind will always look for a way to take the easy way out of anything. So, yeah, I've just been sort of, listening to my mind, analysing my mind, and watching whenever it's remotely even, thinking about taking the easy way out of anything. Another example, I decided earlier that this evening I'm going to bang out an arm and chest session here at home, because I won't be doing my arm and chest session at the gym this week. I've only had one gym session this week. I've done no boxing sessions because I was ill. But, at home I have managed to do a leg session, a back and shoulder session, and I just need to do an arm and chest session. So I can at least say I've done all three of the workouts that I normally do in the gym, a version of those at home. And, I watched as my mind is basically trying to make plans to do that arm and chest session tomorrow, when I'd already decided to myself that I'm going to do it today. So, yeah, that's just another example, where I've sort of watched my mind, fantasizing about taking the easy way out, about not doing what I've decided to do, not doing what I know I should do. But it's fine. I live a life where I'm constantly analysing my mind anyway. But, whilst I've been ill, my mind has sort of been able to take the easy way out with certain things, because I'm ill. I've sort of talked myself out of getting up on time a couple of days. I've talked myself out of going for my walks around the block and whatnot, talked myself out of going to the gym and going to boxing. And, some of those things, it's justified. It's probably the right thing to do, to not go as hard, when you're ill. But it doesn't change the fact that you know, it is sort of my lazy mind, you know, using those things as an excuse. You know, I've sort of got into the habit where for a couple of nights I've ended up, you know, with a bout of insomnia, you know. So, you know, I think it's important that when you're coming out of a period of being ill, or coming out of a period where you have been flopping a bit for whatever reason, and you're trying to get fully back on track and do everything you know you need to, it's very important to, you know, analyse each and every example of when your mind is seeking that easy way out. Even if you don't end up going down the road of taking that easy way out, just acknowledging that you're having thoughts about that, I think that's really important. But anyway, we've just got home and it's actually getting on a bit, and I haven't edited yesterday's video on this channel. I did take my MacBook with me today and I was planning to do it, you know, whilst Kat was driving back from the guy's place, but I realised I didn't even import the files into my MacBook, and yeah, so I wasn't able to do that. So I need to dive into editing that video quickly and get that done, and then I'm going to dive into this arm and chest session. Going to do chest press, going to do the triceps extensions behind my head, and going to do bicep curls, and yeah, Kat's going to spot me, take the bar off me to do the chest press, so I can go right to failure on all three of those exercises. And yeah, going to do 2 sets of each of those 3 exercises. So I'm going to get this editing done, but for you guys, we'll fast forward to that workout. That's it. That's it.
Keep going.
Can't touch my shoulders. Check out today's feast: chicken and steak and eggs. And today we're having normal chips instead of sweet potato fries. Obviously got to have a load of vegetables as well. I'm really failing to get anywhere near 100 kilos. Even though I haven't been working out much this week, you know, I haven't been going for my walks every morning, still eating loads. Yeah, I'm just not putting on weight as quick as I would hope. I don't know, maybe I need to sort of go on a bit of a diet to reset my metabolism and then try going again with a bulk. But yeah, just trying to get massive and not, you know. But it just goes to show that if you do in general work out a lot, you know, I haven't the last week because I've been ill, but I do in general. And, you know, I eat what I want. Like, you know, there's plenty of times where I'm eating biscuits in the evening or whatever. Yeah, it just shows that if you don't eat crap every single meal, like most people do nowadays, and you do a bit of exercise, you can, you know, feast out every day and not get fat, even when you want to get fat, like I do at the moment. But yeah, time to tuck into this feast. Thank you, darling. All right, so after we had our dinner earlier, me and Kat actually dived into finally looking at my backlog of accounts and books that I've been putting off for ages. And yeah, we spent hours on it. There's still work to do, but we've sort of done all the sort of messy, boring, you know, compiling of receipts and whatnot, which is always a bigger job when you've got months and months worth that you haven't sorted through. So yeah, it's really bad that I've put my books off for so long. I do kind of live a little bit ignorant to money and stuff. And I just nowadays live a life where I try not to waste any money. But, you know, even when I am living a life where I'm not wasting money, I should try and be less ignorant to it. You know, in the past, I was ignorant to money just because I was getting paid every week and because I was wasting so much money. So it's a way of like ignoring that. And now I live a life where I'm ignorant to money and I sort of justify it. As long as I'm not wasting any money, then, you know, the books can be however they are, because yeah, however it is the way it is, because I'm not wasting money. But yeah, it's not very responsible, but, you know, glad that we made some progress on that. And yeah, we just got to get the calculator out to do the actual maths which we probably do tomorrow evening. Now, we finished doing what we were doing on the books at about 11 p.m. and then Kat went to bed, and I just didn't feel like, doing the books and then going to bed. So I started watching some videos on YouTube, and then I decided to actually dive into doing some more editing on the video that I'm working on currently on the other channel. Yeah, I've just been tackling quite a time-consuming section of that edit, which I actually thought I'd already done. So the fact that I have tackled that now means there's more chance of me getting that edit finished and uploaded tomorrow, although I still do need to film a bit, and I still need to work on one of the parts that I've got here at home to conclude that video, because I haven't been able to conclude the other job that I've started in that video because I've been ill, etc, etc. So it might not go out tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to do my best to work on that video, and work on that bit of filming I still need to do for the video, as much as I can tomorrow. But because I've been sitting here editing, it is now 1 p.m, which could potentially not help me in terms of going to sleep and then getting up in the morning. But today's been a day where it feels, yesterday should I say, because it's now Sunday, but it's been a day where I feel like a switch has been flicked. Not only am I sort of coming through this illness and feeling better, but I feel like a switch has been flicked in terms of how I'm approaching what's going on in my head, since before I got ill. With this self-improvement stuff, I'm always reminding myself of certain things that I know about how I have to approach my life, right? And if I'm honest, just in general lately, even before I get ill, I've been, allowing my mind to sort of justify not doing the things that I should do as well as I should do. I have been slacking, and it's taken me to get ill to then watch how my mind is kind of justifiably slacking because I'm ill. It's taken that for me to sort of see my mind allow me to slack, if you know what I mean, because it's more obvious because I'm actually ill. So now I'm coming through being ill, I can kind of see more blatantly how I have actually been slacking in general before I got ill, if that makes sense. And today I've just been literally watching how my mind has tried to talk me out of doing things that I've kind of agreed to myself that I'm going to do. Even this evening, that was another example. I'd told myself that I was going to be doing this arm and chest session today, and when it came time to doing it, my mind's trying to focus on the fact that it had got late and Kat did want to crack on with doing the dinner. I got the sort of on-track video edited quite late because we got home late from what we were doing, and as I explained, I wasn't able to do it on the way back from what we were doing because I hadn't imported the files before. So that was another excuse to not do the arm and chest session, right? Because by the time I'd done the editing, it was sort of time to have dinner. But then because I can see it for what it is, it's like, no, that's only going to take 5-10 minutes. If I bang out that workout and jump in the shower, that's not a reason to not do something that I've sort of told myself I want to do. And all these sort of times where they might be minor things that you kind of decide to do, but then talk yourself out of. When you do that multiple times, you're setting a trend where you're breaking promises to yourself, and that can be way more damaging than for instance, missing out on a workout isn't a big deal really, but if you've broken your promise, loads of little promises to yourself repeatedly, and you've sort of got into a habit of breaking promises to yourself, that can be really, really, really damaging, more damaging than missing each individual thing that you've broke a promise about, if that makes sense. So today I've been just watching my mind when it is trying to slack, essentially, and I need to, in general in life, just slack a lot less, slack never, and start reaching higher heights in this sort of self-improvement journey. It's not acceptable now for me to just be someone that doesn't take drugs anymore, and be someone that can now just about get up at 7:30. That's not acceptable anymore. I need to be reaching for higher heights. These sort of constant examples where you sort of reinforce things that, you know, you'd already known, or, you know, start noticing where you've been slacking and reminding yourself of certain things that you're supposed to do. Like, that's what it's all about, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, constantly analysing what's going on in my mind, constantly watching what I'm doing, constantly being honest to myself, and, you know, being hard on myself and telling myself when I am slacking, and keep, you know, pushing myself back on track, and yeah, continually improving. That's what it's all about. That's what I need to do, because, you know, as I've mentioned before, you know, my lazy mind will revert to what it knows, you know, what I've sort of trained it to do over decades of being a waste man, if I don't continually keep giving myself a kick up the arse, essentially. So yeah, that's what I've analysed, you know, what's going on in my life, you know. But yeah, I am feeling good that I did get up this morning. I did go through my morning routine. I have been able to make sure that I've done the things that I've sort of promised myself I was going to do, even though my mind's been trying to talk me out of them. And I am really happy that we finally spent some time on catching back up with our books. Anyway, as I say, it is now gone 1 a.m, so I really need to get to bed. And yeah, the journey continues tomorrow. But until then, massive thanks as always to everyone who's tuned in. Hopefully this video has been somewhat helpful or motivational. Massive shout out to everyone who's been in touch recently to tell me that you guys have, you know, started exercising, or, you know, you guys find the videos useful. You know, I've had quite a lot of messages actually over the last few days from people saying that they're implementing things, you know, improving their life, you know, based on, you know, watching my videos. You know, a couple of people saying that I've inspired them, like, and, you know, that makes me feel awesome. And as I've said, it's a positive cycle, so that keeps me going, and then I'll keep, you know, hopefully keeping other people going with improving their lives, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, feel free to say hello in the comments as usual if you want to have a chat, or if you prefer, just get in touch through Facebook, Instagram, or through email. But other than that, I'll be back for another video tomorrow, so I'll speak to you then.